Hello, hi. It's week four. How you doing? So, if you haven't caught the previous videos, 1, 2, and 3, Facebook does like to hide these things. They are all on this page and they are also on my YouTube channel in a playlist, so they should be easy for you to find. So if you find one, you should be able to find the others easily. And you are very welcome to go back and watch them. And I would recommend that you do, especially because I go over a bit more slowly the technique and the why it's useful for you. But you know, each video stands alone, and if you're just jumping in and you like to do things, you know, dancing to your own tune, and you want to start on week 4, you do you. You're always welcome to be you here, however you show up. So I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying the tapping. And this week, I want to invite you. This is going to be something for you to try out over the week, really. But it's really how to make sure that you are utilising the EFT tapping. Because what can happen is that people find out about tapping and they think, this feels good, this is useful, this supports me, this helps me. And then I can speak to them months later and it's like, oh yeah, I forget about my tapping. Or, oh, I should remember to do my tapping. I know it's there and I just don't do it. And this is just so natural and so human of us. And it's really important that I am not beating you up and you're not beating yourself up about this. But that's why I want to address this, because it's so natural for us. Firstly, it takes a long time to integrate new habits. And especially if we're really full and busy in our lives, bringing something new in, even if it's helpful, can easily fall by the way, because it just feels like, you know, we haven't got the capacity to bring something new in, and it's just not integrated into our being. It's not part of our sort of unconscious patterns to do that. You know, maybe like, this isn't going to be true for everybody here, I fully acknowledge this, but something like brushing your teeth, you've probably been conditioned growing up, you know, and it's become so much a part of your practice, you don't have to think about it. It's automatic. You do it in the morning, you do it in the evening. And again, I do appreciate that might not be the situation for everyone here, but, you know, just as a little life example. So, you know, that kind of thing is really, it's taken a long time to integrate those patterns and habits, and it can take time to bring new ones in a way that feel like they've really become part of our new integrated life. But another thing that happens is that we kind of forget the benefits we've received from something, not just EFT tapping, but all good things. It's like when we have a shift, we have a change, and we feel better, we leave something behind. Sometimes we leave it behind so completely, that sense of relief is so complete, that we beautifully, perfectly, and I want you to, move into this moment, and we kind of, you know, can downplay what we were going through that led us here. It's kind of, it's gone, it's done, and we let it go, which is absolutely what we want to do, but it can mean we're dismissive of the process that got us there. And that can be all different things in life, you know, and actually it's like, we forget the charge it had, the importance it had, the struggle it was. And so for that reason, we can be dismissive of such as EFT tapping that brought us into that space. And so there are a couple of things that we do that can really help us with continuing using the EFT tapping if we're finding it useful in a very conscious way. And I want to invite you into those two things today. The first one, which I have brought you into a little bit through the videos already, is that before we start doing the tapping on something, I like to give it a score out of 10, from 0 to 10. And what can be really helpful is if you're working on something in an ongoing way, is to have a little notebook or a bit of paper or a note on your phone, whatever you like to do, and keep a log so that you can visually see your progress. It will remind you. So even if the intensity kind of goes into the, you know, the distance, actually it's like, actually, when I look, it was a 10 out of 10. And now it's only a 5 out of 10. This has really supported me. And I'm not saying that because I need you to come and say, Lindsay, you really helped me. It's because I want you to acknowledge what is supporting you. And if this is supporting you, I want you to continue to use it because it's supporting you. And so it can really help, you know, show our psyche, here, this has been supportive, this is useful, and we can draw on that at those times when we're feeling in struggle again, we're feeling intense again. Oh, I always feel bad, nothing helps me. It's like, oh, actually, this did help me, and I can go back and use it. Maybe there's another area, another aspect of this showing up for me. This does help me, I can come and use it. So you can do it with a number like 0 to 10, or you could do it with like, and this is really good with children as well, just to show it with your hands. How big does it feel? Is it like, wow, it's massive? Or is it like teeny tiny? You know, usually we're somewhere in the middle of that, aren't we? So you find a scale that works for you. You know, numbers is just an easy go-to, but you can do it with your hands, or if it like, maybe it feels like a ball, you know, is it like a ping pong ball, or what's smaller than a ping pong ball? A pea, maybe it's like a pea, or maybe it's like, you know, you're in one of those, what are those things called, that the orbit things that go on the water that you actually get inside, like a hamster in a wheel, in one of those ball things, which I know are not very ethical, I'm just saying it's like that. Okay, so you can find your scale, but I invite you to find one, and especially if you're deliberately working with something in an ongoing way, it can really help to keep that log and see that progress. So if you've got something you want to work with this week, so say it's like an anxiety you're feeling about something, you can write it down. You remember, we get really specific about what it is and tune into one very specific thing, and you can write it down. And then you can write down your score or your scale, whatever that is. And then before you start doing the tapping, ask yourself where you are. And when you end the tapping, ask yourself where you are. And it might be that you feel a bit better after doing the tapping, and when you come back to it the next time, it's gone up again a bit. That's okay, new things are coming up. But you want to look for that ongoing overall progress. The second thing that I want to invite you into this week is what we call the pegging technique. So you can do this with the same issue, but you can try both of these things to help you integrate it. The pegging technique is a way of making it a new part of your routine, a new habit that works for you. So what I want you to think of is something that you do mostly, if not always, on a daily basis with ease and regularity. So, for example, you get up in the morning and you make yourself a cup of tea, or you brush your teeth, or you, even if it's getting out of bed and going to bed, something you do as a routine if you get in and out of the bed. Maybe it's going to the loo in the morning. There you go, talk about regularity. Maybe that's your thing. So whatever it is, something that you do, there's no hard or fast rule about this. 1, 2, or 3 times, and just notice your intuition, what's going to feel good for this thing you want to work with, because you can't overdo tapping. There's no harm to overdoing it, but there is a harm in human nature in pushing ourselves too hard, you know. We can have this tendency to go, oh, this is this thing, I've got to get to the other side of it, and I'm going to do it 10 times a day because it's going to get me there quicker. And you know, you can't rush a raspberry, as they say. There is a process of integration and timing which is natural. So somewhere between 1 and 3 times a day as a guideline, something that you do on a regular sort of basis, maybe in the morning, in the evening, or maybe a midday one as well, you know. Have a think about what that could be for you. If you want to come and share it, it might give people ideas as well. It might be if you're a regular 3 meal a day person, before you eat or after you eat, you know, one of those things. If you take a medication or something like that, you could put it in with that. And you could just say, I'm going to commit to do 1 round of tapping at that time while I'm working on this issue. I'm going to do it forever while I'm working on this issue. So for this process, because this is a weekly challenge, I'm going to invite you to say for this week and give you a time guideline. But in the future, you can just say, while I'm working on this issue. And just try it out and see how it goes for you and what works for you. And if you notice you're not doing it and you're feeling resistance, ask yourself, does it feel like I haven't got time around, you know, that thing that I'm doing? Do I already feel rushed in that tapping and I haven't got time? Do I need to look at a different one? Or is there some other resistance coming up? And if you'd like some support, if you want some advice on getting unstuck with EFT, stay tuned for next week as well, because I'm going to have some troubleshooting stuff for you in that. All right, my loves? Remember to keep going with lots of care, lots of gentleness, lots of self-appreciation and love. Now, if you need a reminder on the process, I'm going to do that for you now. If you feel like you've got it down, you don't have to listen to me, so I'm going to do this at the end now. But do you remember we start on the side of the hand? So you're going to have your issue written down. So it could be, for example, I feel really anxious when someone knocks on the door. You're going to have that written down. Or it could be, I keep shouting at my husband. Or it could be, I'm avoiding looking at the bills, you know. So notice what your thing is and write it down. And then that's the words you're going to use. You're going to start tapping on the side of the hand. Either way, just stimulating these points. And you're going to say the structure, which is even though, and then you're going to put your thing that you've written down in there. And then you're going to say, I deeply and completely accept myself. Or whatever your positive statement is. If you've personalize that, good for you, whatever works for you, that says I'm okay as I am. Okay, so even though I'm avoiding looking at the bills, or even though I'm anxious about, I can't remember what I said, what I was anxious about, even though I keep shouting at my husband, and then you're going to say I deeply and completely accept myself. And you're going to do that 3 times, because we're really setting up, speaking to our brain, which is rejecting it, which is pushing it away, saying I don't accept myself at all, I don't like this thing about myself, it's not okay. And we're saying no, in this moment I'm bringing myself self-love, and it's safe for me to accept this part of me, to look at this, to bring it back into the fold, to make it part of who I am, and invite myself into deeper levels of completely unconditionally accepting myself, because I am fabulous. Okay, so you're going to do that 3 times. And then you're going to go up to the eyebrow, and we do our reminder phrase while we tap on the point. So you're going to say just a short version of what you've got written down. So for example, this anxiety, or this avoidance, or this shouting, whatever it is that you've used as your example. If you need some help, just come and ask me. That's what I'm here for, okay? So on the side of the eye, again, using your reminder phrase. And then under the eye, using your reminder phrase. And then under the nose, using your reminder phrase. And then on the chin, using your reminder phrase. Over the collarbone, using your reminder phrase. Under the arm, using your reminder phrase. And then finishing on top of the head, using your reminder phrase. And that's all I want you to do. I want you to do that one simple, basic round in whatever way you've pegged it into your routine. So it's quick and easy, and just see how it lands for you. I would love to hear about it. Sending you lots of love and appreciation, and I will see you on the other side for our final week already. Okay, bye.